Eric Keller here with Enthusiast Auto Group. Today we're in EAG's workshop number 1, and we're going to go over an E39 M5 that has quite a special original owner story. Despite starting here in the bottom of the workshop with this pair of 850 CSIs, these E31s, salt and pepper, are quite exceptional cars with a combined less than 60,000 miles between the pair, both of which are top level cars. This white one sold before we could even list the car to the market, and this black one, European spec, as you'll see in the unboxing video a couple weeks ago, is in for its work order and completion of the rejuvenation roadmap, of which we've prescribed here during its initial inspection. We have an original owner M5 that we don't get to say that often in the E28 platform, especially this far removed from new. And original owner M5s is going to be the theme, as I trip over the exhaust system that's slated to go onto that car. This is a Georgia car that we acquired through the help of a EAG client, a multiple repeat client. He found the car and knew of it, and we helped him go through and evaluate the car and bring the car into the EAG stable. And it's a 88,000 mile car that has really a great life. That, again, this is not going to be the topic of the video, but this will be coming soon to the website. It's not yet advertised, and these first looks, these snippets, are part of the YouTube channel, and those that subscribe, if you want to get a first look at things like this Z4M Roadster that also just arrived today, you should subscribe to the channel to have that opportunity and email and get the front seat on these cars before they hit the major media websites. This is a 2008 11,000 mile Z4M Roadster. This is likely the most inexpensive way to jump into the S54 powertrain. It's down to its original Continental tires, you'll notice. And so when we say, hey, we know the original owner really didn't beat on the car all that much with 11,000 miles and we have that much tread life remaining, this is what we mean. And that is a very easily verifiable way to understand the 0 degrees of separation when we're buying something from the original owner, like that E29 M5 that has every piece of service documentation since new. And frankly, that black, the Diamond Schwartz 850 CSI is also a family-owned car that has everything since new, now 7 years removed from production. When we go through these cars for the first time, writing that rejuvenation roadmap is very important. It's not a catch-all be-all, but we certainly catch the majority of things that we can. Of course, there's a lot of steps after the fact in terms of test drives and another inspection once the work has been completed to ensure that everything is up to the EAG standards so that the turnkey product and quality is delivered to the new owner. That's part of the program. This is another good example that we sold in 2014, 137,000 mile M5 that has tons of service history. We don't usually buy E28s that have that kind of mileage on them, but in this case we made an exception because the quality was there, or the ownership, the right owner was there before, and we sold it to a great owner that had previously owned an E28 M5, like most of the E28 M5 guys that we're selling them to today have owned them before. And of course we've got now this Lemans Blue E39 M5 wagon finishing its rejuvenation work order. We're waiting on the suspension, send it out to Poland to be completely rebuilt, and a lot of updates, transmission work, clutch, rear main seal, good 20 grand worth of stuff just to make sure the car is delivered to the next owner in turnkey condition upon his initial receipt of the car. And that's kind of what I want to talk about here with the next car, this being, and the main car of this video is Lemans Blue on Caramel E39 M5. This is a 2002 model CF90145. We bought this car from the original owner out of Florida. He bought the car basically as a retirement present to himself and treated the car as a family member. Any and every opportunity he had to care for the car and give it the extra special attention that it needed was certainly actioned upon. And it's really kind of a cool story. He called us up after doing his research about the market and these cars, did not know of EAG, and said, you guys look like you love these cars, you know what you're doing. I'm interested in selling my car, but more importantly, I'm interested in keeping it in a really great home. Before finding you, I sent the car to my independent mechanic that I had been going to since just out of warranty. Been going to the dealer while the car was under warranty, got everything done as they recommended at the time, the same visit that they recommended I do it. But this guy was at the dealer before, and he opened up his own shop, as many clients can understand and relate to that story with other really high quality technicians with their cars. And I told him I was going to sell the car, and I wanted to make the car basically as good as I could be to pass the car off to the next owner, not knowing he was going to be selling it to, EAG to go through our program, and then obviously update everything and add our own touches to ensure that the next owner had a turnkey exercise. But I appreciate that sentiment, because frankly, that's how Evan and I's dad taught us to hand off the car to the next guy before we decided that this was what we're going to do as a profession. But that's what good enthusiasts do, is you take care of your stuff, you do everything you need to reset that baseline before you deliver the car to the next guy. And that's the old school way of handing over the torch, that caretaker responsibility. And in light of that, when we do sell these cars to our clients, especially first-time clients, we want to make sure that we're handing those torches off responsibly to the next owner, and we give them not only a after-sales care guide, how to care for M5s for dummies, but we ensure that they've got a really great service shop and network in their local environment to care for the car in our absence. And all the best shops in the market, in the community, we know them personally. We worked with them personally. We've seen their work orders on the cars that we've purchased historically. So we want to know that they're going to be going to the best shops out there to continue the care for these cars in our absence. This car has 57,345 miles. That's about a 200-mile gap since we purchased the car, and those test miles certainly ensure that we can identify any areas for improvement. And along that way, we obviously will continue to invest in the car so that the next owner does not have to. But if they do, and when they do, because responsibility of ownership does include spending some money on the car, especially a couple years after they've purchased the car. We certainly want to mitigate as much risk and ownership responsibility as possible so that they have the lowest responsibility when buying a car from us. But the whole point is, we're trying to defer risk, and it's what EAG has always been about. That's why we have historically purchased all of our cars back. If you go through our website and look at the number of cars that say repeat visitor, there's no shortage of those. That's a car that we've owned before, and we voted with our wallet in buying the car back from our client, and that's part of the EAG experience. We feel so strongly that we bought the right car. We invested into it, rejuvenating it to near new condition for a second time in life, that we do want to put our money where our mouth is and buy those cars back. This is certainly exactly that car, and yes, it does have a very yellow coolant tank, and guess what? It does not leak, and it's only original once. It is not leaking now. We do not expect it to be leaking anytime soon, and we certainly can improve that by putting a white one on there if you consider that an improvement, but the preservation guys, of course, would not want that. We have a very period correct Dynon carbon fiber intake system. We have the appropriate stage 3, stage 3 software with the Dynon mufflers. The original owner was an avid golfer, and he bought this car to basically be his executive golf cart, I guess, to take him from the house to the country club. And very early in the car's life did add these Dynon bits. They did transition to an aluminum cold air intake system, cost savings. We think that feel that the carbon fiber certainly looks better and might dissipate a little more heat as far as getting colder air into the engine than the aluminum setups, but ensuring that it's all installed properly and ready to go for the next guy is part of the Reju program. And frankly, it's pretty hard to mess that stuff up, especially when installed by a Dynon authorized shop. Lemans Blue on Caramel is got to be one of the more desirable and rarer color combos, and this being a spoiler delete car on the build sheet, that much more rare. Most of the M5s did come with an optional rear spoiler, and we don't have one but two of the original window stickers. And we have an MSRP of $73,545. You know what? It does have the M audio system though, which will be denoted by those two big subwoofers there. The standard bass system will have just a carpeted box right there. It's a fixed rear seat, which it could have a folding rear seat, and it does not have the parking sensors. Lots of guys know how to use their mirrors. There they are, and do not need those parking sensors, and they do obviously take a little bit away from the aesthetics. We certainly can update the navigation from the that'd be the Mark III system to the Mark IV. This uses CD data as opposed to the DVD data, 600 megabytes versus 6 gigabytes on the DVD format. It's just a plug and play. You pull this drive out, put the other drive in, and the screen is the same part number if we wanted to use and have a 2003 model navigation in a 2002 model. Outside of that and optional rear airbags, there is no difference between a 2002 and a 2003 M5 worth a conversation, this being a 2002. E39 M5s will go down as the last M5 with this weird thing called the dipstick and an analog nature and tactile driving feel. Most of the guys, again, that are buying these have owned them before. This car is priced at 50 grand. The next guy that drives it, that is looking for an M5, will likely be the next owner of this car. It is as close to buying new second hand as it gets, as that door would suggest. So appreciate everybody tuning in. Lots more cool content. We got some great cars in the pipeline. Thanks for taking time to walk through the workshop and see what's going on today. Stay tuned for another video coming soon. E36 takeover. We've had an invasion of E36 lightweights that, just stay tuned for that. Subscribe to see that. It's coming very, very soon. Thanks again for tuning in. Stay tuned for more. We'll see you.